The real question isn't if she likes you, it's whether she's slowly draining you while you stay blind to it. So how do you actually recognize when a woman isn't right for you? Not in obvious ways, but in the subtle patterns that keep you emotionally stuck while your energy fades. In this video, we're breaking down the quiet signs of selfish behavior that most men miss completely. By the end, you'll see clearly if you're investing in the wrong person and what that reveals about your standards. Ready? Let's get into it. Everything begins to orbit around her emotions, her schedule, her priorities. She may never openly demand control, but somehow you always feel like you need to adjust just to keep things calm. And because most men avoid conflict, they go along with it. But every time you do, you send a message. Her world comes first. Pay attention to timing. When she wants connection, you must respond. When she needs reassurance, you give it instantly. When she pulls away, you're expected to respect it. But when you need clarity or effort, there's always a delay, or a distraction, or a reason. Over time, this conditions you. You stop expressing needs because they feel inconvenient. You're not just shifting your routine, you're lowering your standards. Eventually, you stop asking for consistency altogether. Why? Because you've been trained to believe your needs don't matter. Let's be real, a strong relationship isn't friction-free. Sometimes you adjust, sometimes she does. That's balance, that's mutual effort. But if only one person keeps bending while the other stays comfortable, that's not balance, it's control. Here's a test. If you stopped reshaping your life for her, what would happen? Would she step up, or would everything fall apart? A woman who truly values you doesn't require you to shrink. She creates space for you naturally. Now let's go deeper. She shows up, but only when it works for her. At first it feels good. She reaches out when she misses you, calls when she needs support, leans on you during tough times. And in those moments you feel important, like you matter. But step back and look at the pattern, not the highlights. When she's bored, she's available. When she's overwhelmed, she needs you. When she feels uncertain, she pulls you close. But when she's fine, you fade into the background. That's not connection, that's convenience. A woman who values you doesn't appear only when it suits her emotions. She invests consistently. Don't fall into the trap of focusing on the highs and ignoring the inconsistency. Saying things like, "But when it's good, it's amazing," keeps you stuck. Anyone can show their best side when it benefits them. That's easy. The real question is, how do they show up when it doesn't? And here's where it gets psychological. This pattern trains you to chase, but subtly, you start analyzing what you did differently when she was engaged. You adjust yourself, hoping to bring that version of her back. But that version isn't something you created. It's something she chooses to give and withdraw. You're not chasing her. You're chasing moments she controls. Now let's talk about accountability. You bring up something that bothered you. Calmly, respectfully, no accusations, just honesty. And instead of addressing it, she flips the focus. Now it's about your tone, your timing, your reaction. Suddenly, you're defending yourself instead of solving the issue. And if she's skilled at this, it won't even feel aggressive. It'll sound calm, reasonable. You're overthinking. Why are you making this big? I feel like you're starting something. But underneath that calm tone is a message. Your concerns don't count. And if this keeps happening, something dangerous starts inside you. You begin doubting your own judgment. Next time something bothers you, you hesitate. You filter yourself. Or worse, you stay silent. That's how you lose your voice. A woman who avoids responsibility isn't just protecting herself. She's protecting her behavior. Because acknowledging fault means change. And if she can make you feel like the problem, she never has to change. So you adjust. She stays the same. Over time, you stop enforcing standards because it's exhausting. Every conversation turns into conflict. Every issue becomes your fault. You choose silence just to keep peace. But here's the truth. Accountability shouldn't feel like a battle. It should feel like correction. A woman who respects you may not always agree, but she listens. She considers. She meets you halfway. Ask yourself, the last few times you spoke up, did it lead to understanding? Or did you end up apologizing? Because if every conversation ends with you feeling wrong, that's not communication, it's manipulation. Now let's talk about respect. She starts respecting you less the more you give. And it's not because you lack value, it's because of how that value is perceived. When you constantly adjust, accommodate, and show up no matter what, you remove all sense of consequence. She knows you're not leaving. She knows she doesn't have to earn your presence. And when something feels guaranteed, it stops feeling valuable. Human nature doesn't reward certainty, it responds to what can be lost. But here's where most men make the mistake. They notice the drop in respect, and instead of pulling back, they give more. More attention, more effort, more availability. And that only makes things worse, because now you're communicating something clearly. I'll invest in you no matter how you show up. That's how you lose leverage. A woman who deserves you doesn't lose respect because you care. She respects you more because your care has boundaries. You give, but not blindly. You show up, but only where it's reciprocated. So ask yourself, are you giving because she's earned it, or because you're trying to prove your worth? Because if it's the second one, she won't respect it. Respect grows where standards exist, not where effort is unlimited. Now the final point. She doesn't support your growth, she competes with it. At first, she may admire your ambition, your goals, your drive, but watch what happens when that growth demands discipline. You wake up earlier, you focus more, you cut distractions. That's when her energy shifts. You're always busy. You've changed. You don't have time for me anymore. On the surface, it sounds like she misses you, but look deeper. She's reacting to your evolution, not your absence. Because your growth reduces her control. When you're focused and disciplined, you're less reactive, less available for emotional chaos, less tolerant of inconsistency. So instead of supporting your progress, she creates resistance. It may feel like concern, it may feel like attachment, but the effect is the same. You feel pulled back every time you try to move forward. Now look at your response. Do you start adjusting your schedule to avoid tension? Delay your goals to keep peace? Shrink your ambition just enough to stabilize the relationship? If yes, that's not support, it's restriction. A woman who truly values you sees your growth as something that benefits both of you. A selfish one makes you choose. Be the man you're becoming, or the man who keeps her comfortable. And if you choose comfort long enough, resentment builds. Because deep down, you know you're holding yourself back. At the end of the day, this isn't just about her, it's about you. Because behavior like this only continues if you allow it. If you ignore the patterns, if you keep hoping she'll become someone she's already shown she isn't. The moment you raise your standards, everything shifts. Not just who you attract, but who you walk away from. If this gave you clarity, hit like and subscribe to Learnify, because most men don't need motivation, they need awareness. And that's what we build here.